So one of the biggest mysteries in all of Warhammer 30k and 40k is what the Terminus Decree exactly is and what its purpose is. And today we're going to be discussing it because I think I have the answer, as well as discussing a few prevalent theories that I think have been disproven at this point. So without further ado, let's get straight into the video. Oh, and I also want to say apologies for the previous audio issues. I believe they have been resolved at this point. If they haven't, do blast me in the comments as I deserve it. So the first prevalent theory that comes to mind when talking about the Terminus Decree is it being the Emperor's true name. For the uninitiated, in Warhammer there is this thing called a true name. Essentially, it is your real name. It's like your soul name, and someone with this name, or who knows this name and knows how to use it properly, can have complete control over you. The best example that I can give is in the book The Unremembered Empire. John Grammaticus, the bastard, is being chased by a demon, and the demon says, "I know your true name, it's Damon Prytanus." And John is like, "Oh, you've got me, but what's your true name?" And so the demon tells him his true name, and then John's like, "Thank you. Oh, actually, my name's not David Prytanus." And then he literally shoves the demon into a jar for later usage. And essentially, because he had that name, he was able to control the demon to an extent. Like, seriously, John Grammaticus is fucking Ash Ketchum out here. I probably should have said this earlier, but all we actually know for fact about the Terminus Decree is that it is a little wooden box that sits in the Grey Knights temple monastery on Titan, and it is believed to be in the Sigillite tomb for Melkador, and it is this wooden box with gold inlay that only the Grandmaster of the Grey Knights knows about. And it is said that inside of it will either be the salvation of humanity or the doom of humanity. And so this item being the Emperor's true name would be a few ways. The first one being that if you have his true name, you could just outright kill him, which would turn the Golden Throne off and flood Terra with demons because of the Webway portal, which would be a pretty bad time. The other thing that you could probably do is ascend him to a Chaos God, like officially a Chaos God, and doom humanity that way. Regardless of how you look at it, if the Terminus Decree is the Emperor's true name, it's a bad time all around, because it will fuck humanity so hard. Now, the only prevalent evidence that I have to suggest that it is not the Emperor's true name is A, why would the Emperor put his true name in a box on Titan? Especially considering the Grey Knights weren't really the Emperor's creation, they were more so Melkador's creation, as a way to fight the oncoming army of demons that would be happening post-heresy. But then there's also the case of the Emperor would not hand out that type of control. And also, the Terminus Decree seems to be something created by Melkador and the Sigillites, and I'll get to my proof of this in a little bit. But I don't think the Emperor would have trusted anyone with his true name, simply because of the amount of power the Emperor holds. Now, the other prevalent theory, and I do think that this is partly true, is that the Terminus Decree is actually the Talisman of 7 Hammers. Now, for those who don't know what the Talisman of 7 Hammers is, it is something that Vulcan created and put into the Golden Throne as a failsafe device. It was more or less a last-ditch effort in denying the traitors Terra and the Golden Throne itself because of the immense power that it holds and that Horus would be able to use probably with the Golden Throne. And the idea behind this is that if the Golden Throne were to explode and fail, the entirety of Earth or Terra as it's known would be destroyed. And at the very least, if Terra takes Horus and all the traitor forces, everyone can regroup on Mars, and hopefully there'll be a sliver of chance for humanity to come back. However, realistically, if Terra blows up, everything's fucked. Now, I personally do believe that the Talisman of Seven Hammers is part of what the Terminus Decree is, as it makes sense to give the Grey Knights this weapon that would be able to not only take out any force that would inhabit Terror, but also possibly doom any traitor forces. And additionally, we never actually see Vulcan turn this off. Like, for all we know, it could still be active in the Golden Throne with the Emperor just sitting on it 10,000 years later. It might be the reason the Golden Throne is failing actively. The Golden Throne only has about 1,000 years left in it and no one knows how to fix it. But as I said, I don't believe that the Talisman is the only thing in the Terminus Decree. I believe the Terminus Decree is two parts. One part of that is the Talisman of Seven Hammers, and the second one is the Plague. Now, the Plague is a general term. I don't know if there is a name. This comes from the End of the Death Volume 3 and 2, I believe. Maybe part of 1, I can't remember really. But there's this guy in the End of the Death called Basilio Foe. And what he does is he's basically he's a geneticist. He is like Fabius Bile on steroids. And he is one of the Emperor's oldest foes, is what we're told, at least in the books. And he had created this plague that would attack all transhumans besides the Custodes. So Space Marines, Primarchs, possibly Custodes. I think it's mentioned that it wouldn't affect the Custodes in the same way, but it would be a way to wipe out every transhuman permanently. And in this book, it is found out that Malcador has sent his chosen to capture the weapon because he does not want it falling into the hands of the Custodes, as he does not want the Custodes being the ones with all the cards at the end of the heresy. Now, by the end of the End in the Death and the heresy, Basilio Foe is dead, but he did make this virus or disease, and he actually improved upon it at one point. In the book, he is convinced by another character that he could do better because he created the plague to kill biological matter, but not disintegrate their souls, is basically what he did. And so he improved upon it and made it so it could disintegrate souls from the warp, essentially erasing a Space Marine or transhuman permanently. Now, by the end of the book, Foe is dead. He is gone, and we know that one of the one of the chosen of the Sigillite, I believe his name is Xanthus, actually does have this plague on hand, and he is essentially the leader of the chosen. So he seems to have gotten this and given it to the Grey Knights, and they might have put it in the box. I only say this because I believe that the Terminus Decree is something that is meant for if another heresy occurs. Because realistically, if there is a second heresy at some point where the Guilliman and the Lion, they go at it, the Grey Knights can just decide, yeah, we're done here. Throw the plague out, all the Space Marines dead. Humanity is probably still fucked real hard because Space Marines are literally carrying the galaxy. But at the end of the day, they will have saved countless lives from the second heresy. Now, there is one other theory that I have of what a possibility of the Terminus Decree might be. It is very, very unlikely, but you got to throw it out there. It could be a tracker to one of the lost Primarchs, you know? Yeah, we got to hope that the lost Primarchs are out there somewhere. But that's it for now. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave a like, subscribe, and let me know what you think in the comments below. I would love to hear your thoughts and let me know what you want to see next. Bye.